Ooh yeah, JuiceMan Benji here, and I have an important announcement. My love for video games is dead. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration. I just wanted to start this video off with a bang. Get you on the edge of your seat. Oh yeah, got you hooked. Alright, let's get on with it. As a gamer, I just want to talk about some very annoying things about the video game industry, and I'm sure other gamers find these equally irritating as well. And I'm talking from a video gamer's perspective, so if you're one of those Candy Crush people, well, get the over here. So let's get to these problems that I want to get off my chest. The problems that make me want to snap my copy of No Man's Sky in half and then use it to stab myself in the arse. Actually, I wouldn't do that since I value my arse, but I'd gladly break that bomb-tard of a game in half. I'd be able to delete the game data off my hard drive, which would free up some space. I've got a 500GB PS4, yet I'm at a point now where if I get a new game, I've got to delete old game data to create space for new game data. Why can't I just play games straight from the disc anyway? Some games don't take that long to install, but there's others that take ages. I remember there was a time when you didn't have to wait at all. Call me impatient, but I can't stand it when I have to wait more than 10 seconds on a loading screen. Also, why are most games so overpriced? I can understand why a game like Uncharted 4 costs £50, since that game has huge production value and gives you exactly what you want and expect. But a game like No Man's Sky, a game that might go down in history as the most overpriced game of all time, come on now, it was made by like 10 people, and then playing the game is like watching your grandma knit a jumper. You'll eventually fall asleep. When I say eventually, I mean like within 2 seconds. And along with games like No Man's Sky, we have annual releases like FIFA and Call of Duty, where majority of the game is exactly the same as the previous one with a few additions. You could argue their replay value justifies their price tag, but the previous year's game also had replayability. So if you're going to shell out another £50 on a game, you should really be asking for more from your investment than just a bit of a facelift and the possibility of an extra mode. Even worse than this is cases where average games that last like 4 hours costs you the same amount as a game that lasts hundreds of hours. I don't know, maybe the amount of resources spent making both games are the same, which could result in them having the same price, and you can also throw in the marketing and all of that as well. But what I do know is that a lot of gamers get ripped off their hard-earned money. Not me though, because I don't have bad taste, and I also use a service called Boomerang, which is a game rental service, and a lot of gamers don't actually know about it, so have a look after the video and you could benefit from it. Speaking of getting ripped off, most games now have microtransactions. These cheeky buggers want you to throw in more cash for more content and take shortcuts in the game. How about you suck on my micro nuts? Actually, forget I said that. What happened to just playing the game to unlock bonus features or being more skilled at it, allowing you to get those features quicker than someone that wasn't as skilled? Sorry, but when a gamer indulges in microtransactions to take shortcuts, you can't call yourself a gamer anymore. You don't pay to level up, you play. And what's all this nonsense with DLC packs and pre-order bonuses? I don't mind the extra paid content if it comes out a long time after release, but it's usually available from day one. Let's use a recent example. WWE 2K17 had a pre-order bonus, which was a character who happened to be one of my favourite wrestlers of all time, Goldberg. But the problem here was that I wanted to get the game after it released so that I can see how everyone rated it and if it had any good feedback from fans. I wasn't too happy with the last couple of games that came out in the series. They were a bit lackluster, but the response was good for this game in general, so I ended up getting the game and I wanted to play as my favourite wrestler. 2K were making him available a month after release, so I was like, oh yeah. But then I found out that you had to pay an extra £5 just to have access to that character and a couple of other features. I'm like, what? Why you do this? So, let's get this straight. The price of the game is the same before and after release. However, if you buy the game after because you had doubts over its quality, but you want to access the main attraction of the game, then you gotta cough up more money. You know what that is? That's a cheat. A bullshit. Now, I know many of us are busy and we don't always have time to play every part of a game, so taking shortcuts is understandable, but why don't developers make it more accessible to in-game currency with less time-consuming modes within the game rather than lazily asking for more money? That's another problem with the industry too. Where did the creativity go? There has to be a reason why a game like Rocket League exploded onto the scene. First of all, there's split screen, which are two words that are probably making all developers cringe. I know there's that stereotype of gamers living alone in their mum's basement, but most of us don't actually live alone, you know. Apparently online multiplayer makes gaming more social, but has it really made us more social?
What? Oh my god, what the fuck?
Yeah, right! Anyways, back to Rocket League. It has split screen, it's a game you can pick up and play, it's fast, it's unique, and most important of all, wait for it, because this one will shock you, it's fun. OMG! Who would have known? A game that is really fun, is really popular. And why does it feel like there's so many games that are similar to each other? Skyrim, Diablo, Dragon Age, Dark Souls, they're all the same. Why are they all called RPGs anyway? Aren't all games role-playing experiences? You take the role of a person, a car, or bread? Nah, I'm only kidding. I'm not actually a fan of RPG games, so I don't know a lot about them. So just ignore the last 30 seconds of this video. Don't want to trigger any RPG fans on here. I've heard they're a bit off the rails.
Zero Dragons! Oh my god, he just ran in.
Okay, let's get back to my point. Remember when Uncharted was dubbed as a Tomb Raider clone, but people quickly realised that these games are completely different beyond the surface. And how? Uncharted felt like you were playing a movie, a really good one too, with a heart. It had memorable characters, a great script, mind-blowing action, and their cutscenes felt real because of the motion capture. For me, I was convinced I was going to buy Uncharted weeks before it released, without even having to read a review. And how? There used to be a time where you didn't even have to judge a game by a review. There was this thing called a demo. Yeah, remember those? Especially those demo discs that used to come out with magazines and it had about 10 games you could try out. Honestly, what's so difficult about offering one level from a game to help you decide if you wanted to buy it? Maybe because they know less people would buy their games if they tried it. If I was given a demo for Infinite Warfare, I'd probably never decide to buy it. First person shooters have become kinda stale too. Call of Duty went further into the future and went further off the ground, right into space. First it was World War II, then it gradually moved through time all the way to the year 3020, the distant future. I'm sure Infinity Ward thought that the futuristic setting and the mechanical suits were the logical step forward, but there was nothing unique about it because all that stuff has been done with games like Halo and Titanfall and Destiny, and it was just trying to be something it wasn't, which evidently did not go down well with fans. Then EA were like, what hasn't been explored that much before? Ah yes, World War I. So they went ahead and made that the setting of Battlefield 1, and look at the response that got. Look at what can be achieved with some creativity and a few minutes of research. Infinity Ward know they messed this one up because they had to throw in a remastered version of a 10-year-old game just to sweeten the pie. Or give the pie some taste in the first place, if you know what I mean. Seems like everyone's remastering games now. The lack of backwards compatibility on PS4 and Xbox One meant that we were getting remasters of games like The Last of Us, where the only differences are upscaled graphics, improved frame rate, and amazing features like photo mode. And we were asked to pay full price again for these revolutionary features. I mean, The Last of Us is one of the all-time greats and Naughty Dog always deliver, so I'd give them a pass for now. But everyone else, stop doing this. We're at the peak of technology, yet we can't play a PS2 or PS3 game on a PS4, even though a PS4 can read DVDs and Blu-rays. A proper remaster would look something like Abe's Odyssey, New and Tasty, or the new Crash Bandicoot trilogy that's gonna come out, because they're complete top to bottom overhauls. Is that all we settle for now from a remaster? Improved graphics and frame rate? Oh, and don't get me started on this obsession with frame rate. Why do gamers care so much about an extra few frames being on the screen? It's annoying, not because of people genuinely complaining about the performance. We all want a smoother experience. I understand that, but frame rate is usually brought up during console war arguments to make fun of someone else who has another console. As long as the frame rate doesn't lag or stutter, then I'm cool. Stop looking for excuses and reasons to defend what console you bought, and just play the damn console. And if you're a PC gamer, well, can you really be called a gamer? Really? Who plays video games with a keyboard and a mouse? Poof. Go and use them for their actual purpose and open a Word document and start typing, ya morbid specimens. That was a joke, by the way, so don't cry anyone. This console generation has been plagued with delayed, cancelled and broken games. This isn't the next gen. This is the day one patch gen. And I don't blame this specifically on the developers because they're the hard workers. I think it's more down to the publishers and it's more of a corporate problem. Games are being rushed into development just so certain targets can be met. But it seems like they don't learn from history telling us that anything that is rushed is never of good quality. Okie dokie, rant over. Wait, hold on. One more thing. We have football games, basketball games, a UFC game, and even a bloody golf game. So where are the boxing games and the tennis games? What a load of bollockary. Well, I've got that off my chest. Wait. One last thing. Rockstar, please set your next GTA in London. Enough with these American settings. I don't want to drive through any more straight roads. I want curly ones. And if any American has a problem with that, don't worry about it. You'll be in the middle of a live action Grand Theft Auto for the next 4 years. Nah, I'm only kidding. Just because your president is a bit of a crunchy nut doesn't mean you lot should turn into ones. I guess this is a good point to end the video on. So, thanks everyone for checking out my video. This was actually based on my article that I posted on my blog. So if you want to check that out and any of my other posts, feel free. I'll put the link in the description below. I would also appreciate it if you like the video, and if you want to see more funny and awesome gaming videos, well, the subscribe button is there for the clicking. See you later, folks.